no, I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.
This is Santino and you're watching Out of the Fast.
Tony Bokhoven here at the Chili Bowl Nationals, and you were just over bidding on a guitar for the Hall of Fame, and you're announcing here this week, and we're here on day number 4 now, I believe it is. It's a long week, but having fun this week so far?
Yeah, it's been a great week. I thought the crowd was really good last night. It's always fun to go to the auction. You know, that's part of the lure of coming to the Chili Bowl. There's all kinds of different things going on besides just the racing. So fun to go over and support the Hall of Fame a little bit and kick off the day.
Absolutely, and we've had 4 great nights of racing so far. Well, 3 great nights and then practice day, but
Yeah.
track has been great. The racing has been great. From the announcer side up in the booth, you gotta be having fun calling these races.
Oh yeah, it's a great time. This is my 24th year doing it, and you know, I get the best seat in the house, right? So that's always fun. And you're right, the racing's been really great the last 3 nights, and the track's been really good. I think the track was a little different last night than what we'd seen the first 2 nights, and so that always helps kind of spice things up a little.
Absolutely, and you look at the caliber of drivers here. You got drivers from all different disciplines coming to race this event. Obviously, you announced at Knoxville, so you announced sprint cars, but you get to announce different names this week, like IndyCar drivers and stuff. I mean, that's got to be cool, just getting to announce some of the names you're going to announce.
Yeah, I've always said that. But that's one of the coolest parts of the Chili Bowl is you get so many drivers from so many different disciplines that come here to have fun. There's no points involved, you know, no series points, right? And so they can kind of let their hair down a little bit and have a good time. And, you know, last night I thought the talent was really deep last night. Like, you know, there's been, you know, times where you can pick 2 or 3 guys out of the field and be like, yeah, those guys are probably going to be the ones to win. But last night, I thought, you know, the field was really deep. And so, and I was happy for Emerson because he raced with us all summer long at Knoxville. So kind of like a local guy for us, wins a preliminary night at Chili Bowl is a big deal.
Absolutely, and he's running for one of the best teams here. And you look over here to your left, and you got KKM, and they bring 22, I think they brought like 20 plus drivers, they said, this year. And
it's unbelievable.
I mean, that's unbelievable for one team to bring that many cars. But you look at the drivers that they have, and then you look at the drivers in the pits, and it's just like the caliber here is just, it's insane this week.
You know, when I first started coming here, Keith Coons' team, they only had like this side, right? And over here there were couches and Taylor Weld and all the people had stuff set up where the fans were watching there, but they've grown so much, and that just goes to show you the amount of talent that's out there. But you know, walk down this aisle behind us, and you could just pick them out as you go. There are some really good drivers here, and the difference is the equipment has also escalated with the talent of the drivers. So there's not just a handful of really good cars here. There's a whole bunch of cars here that are really good.
Now you're working with a different, obviously there's the Flow Racing broadcast, and they got their team, but you got a different team as well, obviously on the PA side of things here in the stadium. It's got to be fun working with who you're working with.
Yeah, you're working with Brian and Randy. You know, Brian I get announced with a couple times a year when we meet up at different racetracks, but Randy, now since he's with the ASC, I still get to see him more, but traditionally this was the only time of year I would get to announce with him. So it's a lot of fun, and we have Scotty Cook in the infield. We used to have Blake Anderson, so it was really fun to bring all these different announcers in from different series and different genres, and so that's been the fun part of it. And when you got guys like ones creeping up behind you with that big scraggly beard on you, we just try to have a good time. We try not to take it too serious. The other thing that's really fun here is, you know, where I announce at Knoxville, we're way up in the air in a really nice press box, right? But here, we're right with the fans. And so it's a whole different element of announcing for us. And so I think that's part of what keeps me wanting to come back.
As a sprint car announcer, you're announcing basically the sprint car capital of America at Knoxville. What's new for Knoxville this year? I'm sure you got some insight on what's going on.
Yeah, you know, they upped the purse, so that's a big deal. We'll have one of the top, highest paying 410 purses in the country, which is good. I'm glad for that because we have some really good cars there, and any one of our top teams could easily go on the road. So having a higher purse will obviously give them a reason to stick around. I think we've got some guys moving up into 360s that will be fun to watch, and so we also are lucky to have the 305 class, which really started at a go-kart track, right? And we have some really good 305 drivers, so that class has come along really well. Used to be when the 305s would come out, the fans would all go get a beer, right? Not anymore. Our 305 class is really competitive, it's very even, and so I think across all 3 classes we're in for a good season.
And you look at the 305s, because I've announced 305s back in New York, and that's kind of like the beginning class to become a 410 driver. So you got like the up and coming drivers that are going to be maybe World of Outlaw stars one day racing 305s.
Yeah, we've had a lot of drivers that started in a QRC kart at English Creek and have made their way up into a 410. So Carson McCarl is a good example of that. So I'm really excited about what we have coming up this year. And of course, we've got our big marquee events like the 360 Nationals and the Knoxville Nationals and the late model nationals, and USAC's coming back again this year. So all of those things, if we could just get the big block modifieds to come once, we
yes,
have it made.
I would agree. I would agree with that. But couple Chili Bowl questions for you. So you're on the other side. You don't get to go to the backstretch, but you could see the backstretch.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on the rowdies back there?
I love it. We try to prod at them a little bit a couple times during the night, and I love the fact that like the pit area, it's a melting pot of people that don't get to see each other but maybe once a year, and they come back there and they bring all kinds of things to have fun. The clap sticks and the sirens, and they used to bring big marshmallows and stuff like that.
I don't think they're doing that anymore.
Yeah, they don't do that anymore, but it's also cool that they've picked out their drivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so when they bring the cars out to push them off and their drivers end up over there in turn 2, they go crazy. Mm-hmm. And so I love that. It's fun to see their passion and that they're all having a great time.
And speaking of drivers are hanging out in there. Like last night, I was up there and Gordy Gunbaker's up there being rowdy as ever. Yeah. You got drivers all coming up there, and that's where they come and hang out.
I'd love to take a wireless microphone and go call a race from over there in amongst the rowdies. I think it would be so much fun. Just to bring them into the show a little bit more, right? Because they are a big part of what happens here.
Absolutely. And so looking into 2025, obviously you'll be back at Knoxville, but anything else?
Yeah, I'll also be at Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Indy cars and the NASCAR race this fall. Mm-hmm. So looking forward to that. And then, it always seems like 3 or 4 things come up throughout the season, so I've been trying to not really cut back, but maybe slow down a little. I have a drag race car that I like to mess around with, and so I want to go drag race my car a little bit more this year. And so between Knoxville and all that stuff, I'll have a full summer again.
All right. Well, Tony Bokhoven hanging out here in the Sagenet Center. I appreciate you chatting with me.
Yeah, thanks for interviewing me.